So we finished the last video doing that kind of regular grind in a Viper, very combat oriented, and on those trips to a nav point, and if you're lucky enough to get enough cargo to bring back and sell it at somewhere like LP, you know, you could be making with 4 tons of cargo space, you could be making probably 10 grand a trip easily. With a Viper with 8 tons of cargo space, a little bit more, so you could probably be making up to 20 grand a trip, depending on how lucky you were with what cargo gets dropped. Now there comes a point after doing that grind where you can afford to step up to something a little nicer, like a Lake on 6 in terms of cargo space. There you suddenly got 100 tons of cargo space, and you can then put more of a focus onto trading if you want to. Now, trading, a little bit boring really. As a gameplay aspect, I probably don't envisage myself really doing it from the fun side of things, but you know, if money is a focus and if you're going to need a lot of money, then to be honest, you're going to have to look at trading at some point, because it's the only way you're going to start making big bucks. Or certainly, you know, given the missions and the bounties that are currently in Beta 1, you know, there's no opportunity to make big money by hunting down some you know, godforsaken bloke who's got a bounty of tens of thousands of credits on him. So trading is kind of at the moment the route to the big bucks. So you get to about sort of 300,000 credits, as I said in the last video. You can then probably afford to cash in on your Viper, get a Lake on 6, and have a bit of money to spend buying some cargo. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the mechanics of the game, some of the features that are in the GUI to help you decide where to trade, and you know, some of it might be fairly obvious. You know, you buy low, you sell high, but also what systems trade in what types of goods. Yeah, and it's not, you know, it's I think because there's lack of any manuals in the game at the moment, you know, it's a bit daunting. How on earth do I make money trading? You can resort to kind of out of game web-based tools like Slope's BDC, but there's no real need to, honestly. The information is there in the game for you. You can use that. So let's take a look. We'll go over some of the basics.
So we're here in Type 6, Lake on Type 6, baby brother to the Type 9. It's 100 units of cargo space, and you know, it's probably a stepping stone onto big time trading. We're going to start off looking at the galaxy map, because this is where you're going to get the basic information for trading. So we're in map mode, we're in the map view, and you can see it starts off as a bit information overload really. We've got a much bigger jump range in the Type 6, so there's lots of routes marked, but you can see all these colour coordinated lines emanating in and out of All-In, which is where we're at, showing popular trade routes. So we can go to the view tab here, and you can see they're all colour coordinated to the types of goods that are being shipped. We can turn those on and off either totally or individually here. So what I'm interested in is routes out. So you see this one here from, where's that from? Draco, CM Draco. That's a red line that's coming in. Now I want to take stuff from All-In, so I'm not interested in that. I want stuff that's outbound, and I want something that's got the bigger kind of coloured blobs on it. The more bright, the more intense the blobs, then the more profit there is to be had. So I'm going to spin around here, and I'm going to slowly turn off. And what I want to do is I want to turn off the ones that aren't contributing to All-In. So chemicals, there's some chemicals outbound. None of these are doing anything. No, I don't need that. Oh, that one's a good one. So technology. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. Don't need that. Medicines. There's medicines going out, so we'll leave that one on. Foods, textiles, and waste. Well, waste, there's never any money in waste really, so not really interested in that, even though there is a route out for waste. Okay, so we're left with a couple of green lines, pink one and a blue one. I'm going to have a look. We've got a big green route going to Word there. Let's have a look. So now you can open up the medicines one, and you can individually untick, and it looks like that's the one. Agri medicines. Oh, and progenitor cells. Okay, so this, now we can use this to work out that agri medicines and progenitor cells are good products to be shipping out to Word or Weird or however you pronounce it. So we can kind of narrow down already what goods we've got to take there that we know we're going to make a profit on. Okay, we might not know exactly how much, but the fact that it's a pretty bold line means it's probably a safe bet. So let's go into the market. Hopefully you know the basics of the commodities market, yeah? So let's freeze frame this and go over it. Columns should be fairly obvious. Goods down the left, products that are listed on the marketplace here, all in enterprise. So value, you've got sell, which is the price that you can sell to the market. So if you were selling goods here, this is what you're interested in. We're obviously buying, so we're more interested in the next number, the buy price, which is what we can buy from the market at. And you'll see there's some that are blank because there is no supply here, so there is none of those goods here. Cargo column, fairly obvious. That's how much we've got in our cargo hold. They're all 0 because we're empty at the moment. So the demand column gives you an indication of how much demand there is for a product at this market. So this is more interesting if we were selling here, which we're not. We're looking to buy, but obviously you can use this. Generally, you want to be selling commodities into a market where there's high demand. That might be stating the obvious, but I'll just say that. Moving to the supply one, this is more interesting from a buying perspective. We are interested in products which have a high supply, because chances are if the supply is high, the price is quite low. And then in order to gauge some of that, you can see there's a galactic average column on the far right, which is a galactic average, so don't rely on that too much to know that you're definitely going to make a profit with the destination you have in mind, because that, you know, that's, it says it in the name. It's average over the whole of the galaxy. So, but it gives you an idea. At least if you're looking at the buy price, you can check that you are buying at a sensible kind of price. Yeah, you want to be buying probably below the galactic average, and selling towards it, or maybe even above it. So okay, that's probably all stating the obvious, but let's just cover it for those that are new to Elite or the trading side of things. So obviously we can scale up and down here and choose different products that we're interested in. So unfreezing that, we were looking at agri-medicines and progenitor cells, weren't we, from the galaxy map. So progenitor cells we can buy at 6.5. It's below the galactic average, low demand. Agri-medicines, high demand, but and not quite so expensive. Let's buy a few progenitor cells. There might be a big margin on those, but obviously because they're so expensive, I can't fill my hold with them. And this is one important thing you must remember, is always leave some money in your bank account to cover insurance on your ship buyback. What we should do actually is we should have a lot top up on fuel, and then we should probably fill the hold up. Actually, let's go and maybe just put some of those agri-meds in. We've got loads of cargo space. We've not got much money left, but the agri-medicines are cheaper, so we can maybe stock up on those. How much is full? That's 50 grand. That would leave us a little bit short. Let's just notch that down a bit. 45, that'll do. Okay, so we've got 30, 40 odd, just up to 40 grand in the bank. So that's fine. Okay, let's head off to Word then, or Weird, or however we're pronouncing it this month, and see what we can get for it. Now I'm not going to bore you with the whole journey to Word, Weird, whatever. So let's accelerate time through the power of my video editing software. And here we are on final approach. Quite a pretty station, this one actually. It's all very green and agricultural place, so hardly surprising I suppose. Landing pads do look suspiciously like football pitches though to me, or basketball courts or something. Let's see if we can park this Type 6 on the dock. Left a bit maybe.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Okay, and then let's head back to our market. And one useful thing is the market tool does now show you how much profit you're making. I think this was introduced, oh dear, back at the start of beta, was it? I forget now. So find your items that you've got some cargo of, and then move over the cell, and if you just wait it will tell you, there we go, 11 grand profit on that. Sell it. And the agri-meds, 569 credits per unit profit, that's 25.5 grand. There we go, that'll do. And then there's not really a lot more to do. I happen to know that fish sells well back at Orly, so I'm going to head back there with some fish. Stock up on fuel, don't forget. And then you just rinse and repeat. A bit the same as the previous video with the combat, you know. Just milk it for as much as you can. You'll find a route that works, and milk it for as much as you want. Next thing obviously would be to move up to a Type 9, get even more in the hold then. Very pretty.
So we can summarise some things then. You know, the type of system gives you a good idea of what its demands are and what it's very good at supplying. So you know, refineries are going to give you lots of output metals and stuff like that, and then require minerals. Those extraction sites are going to be a good source of all those minerals. Your industrial sites are going to be outputting useful assembled commodities like computers and stuff like this. Agricultural systems are always going to have a need for machines that are involved in agriculture, or crop fertilizers and stuff like this. And if you just apply some common sense to it, think about what those systems would need in order to do their job, you know, you can kind of fathom what they're going to need, and then find a system that's going to supply it. And those animated coloured lines in the galaxy map, they're incredibly valuable for showing you the stuff you need to know. The thicker, the more intense they are, the more of a profit there's to be had there. There's a bigger trade route there. So you know, you can use those. You can filter out those that you're not interested in, and you can find those routes, and then you can literally set up a little route ferrying stuff. A nice thing to do is to see if you can find rather than just a one-way. It's very rare to find a one-hop and return journey that makes a lot of cash. What you can often do is find a little triangle of systems where you can make good money running between the three of them. Possibly there's even more. You know, might mind a four one. The jump range in the Lakon 6 opens up a wealth of opportunity there. So yeah, you know, all the systems are there. Look at the demand on your market. If you're selling. If you're buying, look at the supply. I would tend to focus on those high values. You know, you've got medium and low. If you know that a trade route is really good, you might buy something at a place where it's low. You're probably not getting such a good price. But if you've got a very high supply on one system and a very high demand on the other, it will probably back up those animated lines here. It will probably reinforce that that's a good route to be trading in. And then you just, unfortunately, then I guess it's a case of you just dropping into that grind again, and you're just milking it. Here in the Lakon 6, there are no magical routes that I've found. I've seen none talked about, and even if you look on the tool, you know, those market tools, there's no magical thing that's just suddenly going to net you 1 million credits. they're generally, I think the highest I've found is probably about 100,000 credits a run with 100 tons of cargo space. It's about 80 to 100,000 you can be making in one direction, and the return trip, if it's not an ideal route, you can probably be making 30 grand on the return trip, so that's not too bad. Then obviously you need to step up then to the Lake on Type 9 when you can afford it, which is a good 3 million plus credits, and then you can start trading to I forget what the cargo capacity of it is now. I think it's 400 odd tons of cargo space. So you got the Type 9, or of course you might decide to go Anaconda. You've got decent cargo space in the Anaconda, but you've also got a bit more of a combat ability, and that's probably what I'd probably be interested in trying next, because I don't want to sit and just do trade grinds all the time. I need to kind of get involved in some of the combat. I find that more entertaining. So yeah, hopefully that's been useful. None of it is rocket science really. Don't be daunted by the trading bit, and to be honest, give it a try, because if you want to advance credits wise in the game, which certainly in the beta is kind of one of the main drivers, I think you want to try those new weapons out, you want to test them, then yeah, give it a try, and I hope that's been useful. Until next time, we shall see you later. Good luck out there, commanders. See you soon.